channel. So in today's video I'm doing this makeup look. I hope you guys love it. I really enjoyed creating it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I always get so nervous when Matt watches me do my intros. Anywho, first things first, I'm going in with my Napoleon Purchase Pore Minimizer and Mattifier, or you can use the Benefit Professional. I really love both of them. Just putting them over the open pores, so mostly on my cheeks and a little bit on my nose and my T-section. And then I'm going in with probably the best primer in the world. Whoa, what a statement. The Napoleon Purchase Autopilot Primer. This helps your foundation stick like no other. And for today I'm mixing these two foundations and of course dampening my beauty blender with my MAC Fix Plus and just blending it and stippling it all over the face. Don't forget to blend it all the way under your chin and down your neck so it matches your entire body. And I wanted a really full coverage, so I just kept building it up over the feature focus areas. And I will be using two concealers. So the first one is a pinky salmon undertone, which counteracts the best with my dark circles. And now that my dark circles have been erased, I'm going in with my MAC Select Cover Up Concealer. This is in the shade NC20 and I really like it because it brightens my under eyes and it gives a lifted effect. And I like to apply this and build it up a few times so it's nice and full. Make sure you set your under eye concealers straight away. So I get my damp beauty blender and I dip it into my Mercier translucent powder and I just pack it on my under eyes. This is the technique that's called baking or cooking or whatever you want to call it. And now just take the concealer that you have left over and use it as a primer for your eyelids and then set it with the same Mercier powder. For an all-over face powder today, I'm going to be using the Studio Fix MAC Pressed Powder, just a very small layer all over the face just to set it in place. And now I'm just sweeping away the excess powder. And to warm up my face, I'm going to be using the Napoleon Matte Bronze. I like to kind of map out where my contour is going with this because it's not too dark. So it's quite a soft bronze kind of color, which I really love because it doesn't make your face look muddy. Be sure to blend the bronzer up across your temples and through your hairline. And then I like to take a big fluffy powder brush and take the bronzer down my neck. I feel like this blends it really nicely and makes you look like you're all one color. And now that we've got our bronzer mapped out, I want to go in and really deepen it up. This is one of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes in the shade Dark Deep. I'm using a smaller contour brush, so it's not going to go across as big of a surface, and basically just going over the exact same areas, but this is just going to define it more because it's a darker product with a smaller brush. Now, if you can see any areas that are particularly darker than others, like that cheek is darker than the other one, I just pick up my beauty blender and I just kind of dab it out and blend it away. Your beauty blender is the best tool when you feel like some areas are too dark, or you may have made a bit of a mistake, or it's not blended or anything like that. Just pick up your damn beauty blender and literally just buff it out. Time to move on to the eyes. I'm using this shade here from my Napoleon Nude U palette, and I'm going to be contouring my socket. As always, really take your time with this and build the product up so it's nice and obvious. Now that we have a little bit of definition through the eyes, I'm going to be using my Napoleon Tawny Temptress eyeshadow, and I'm going to be adding this straight on top through the socket. This throws off a really beautiful earthy, reddish, brownish kind of tone, which is probably one of my favorite colors through the socket of the eye. And it's time to add some definition towards the outside of the eye. I'm taking this BOBBI Brown eyeshadow. If you don't have this exact one, that's fine. Just use any dark brown, mocha, chocolatey kind of color. I've switched up the brush if you have noticed. If you haven't noticed. This is a smaller one. It's the MAC 217, which is my absolute favorite brush for blending out dark eyeshadows. As you can see, I'm really taking my time using circular motion, so clockwise, anti-clockwise, and I'm just focusing it on the outside part of my socket and blending it inwards. And I'm going to show you the exact same thing on my other eye, because I find that this is what most women struggle with the most, is really blending out the color and the placement of the dark shadow. So keep on watching. So you can see I'm almost dabbing the product onto the outside corner, and then as I work my way out, I'm using a lighter hand, like a real feathery kind of motion, just to soften it out. And then I picked up the clean brush that I used before to kind of work away anything that's not blended out as well. And for this look, I want my brows to be really defined, so I'm going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in the shade dark brown, I think, and I'm using an angle brush just to really define them and make them look super intense. And now I'm taking MAC Expensive Pink with my MAC 217 brush, and I'm using this to soften out the browns that I've just put on. It's a really gold, pinkish, earthy kind of tone, so I'm just kind of using it to blend in the middle section there so it fades beautifully. That was a terrible explanation, Rachel. Now I'm taking the other MAC eyeshadow called Coppering. I love this one because it is just so intense, and I'm packing this on to the mobile lid because this is going to be the focus color for the eyes. And now I'm taking MAC Nylon to highlight the inside corners. And now I'm taking a Napoleon Loose Eye Dust, which is like a white gold shimmer in the color Mosaic Gold. Sorry, I forgot to show you guys. I'm just blending it from MAC Nylon over the MAC eyeshadows that I just applied to give a really pretty glowy, goldish kind of reflection. And now it's time to tidy up the eyeshadow at the corners. Please never skip this step. Literally just pick up your concealer brush that you've probably still got product left on and just sweep up the edges. Now I'm taking Napoleon Tawny Temptress and I'm sweeping this under my eyes. I wanted under my eyes to be quite intense, so I thought I would build up the color starting with Tawny Temptress. Taking the same Bobbi Brown shadow but on a small angle brush this time, I'm working this into the lower lash line. This is going to create that definition that we have on top, and it's going to do it on the bottom as well. And just keep on smudging it out, packing on the color at the corner there. You can see how I've just created that shape using the angle brush and sweeping it down towards the inside of the eye. And just picking up the same brush that I use under the eye to continue to blend Tawny Temptress and the brown shadow together. So much blending. Now time for the eyeliner. So just patting it on the inner waterline at the bottom and then picking up that blending brush that I always use under my eyes and blending it out so it just fuses all together. And now I'm doing a liquid line on top with a bit of a wing, and time for mascara. As always, L'Oreal Telescopic mascara, and I like to do a few coats just to really thicken them up as much as possible. I hardly have any lashes at all. And once you've got your wings on, you can kind of see the height of your shadow a little bit better. So I always usually pick up my, great description. Just blend in, oh my God, blend it all out again. And I'm using a waterproof mascara on the bottom because I have serious smudging issues. And using my concealer brush again to flick off any pieces that do not belong there. And here I've got two eyeshadows. The one on the left is Amazon Jungle and the one on the right is Cherry Bomb, and I'm using them as a blush mixed together. Make sure you tap off the excess when you're using colors that are this bright, just so they don't go on too strong. And for highlight, I'm using Champagne Pop, and I'm kind of packing this on. I really love a glowy look. So right up on the cheekbones is where I put the majority of it. And then I just like to blend a little bit down my nose, on my cupid's bow, my chin, and sometimes I even put a bit on my forehead. Depends how I'm feeling. For lips, I had quite the combination. I'm firstly going in with MAC Soar. And then over that, I'm going in with MAC Pink Plaid. And that felt a little bit too pinky for the eyes for me, so I'm going in with this YSL lipstick. I'll link the color and the number down below. And for lashes, I'm going in with these little half lashes. I've used these previously in one of my other tutorials. They are just Kmart lashes that I've cut in half and doubled them up on the edges. Now I'm taking MAC Coppering, and I really wanted to intensify under my eyes. So I'm just packing quite a lot of this shadow on and just sweeping it back and forth so it blends really nicely in with all the other eyeshadow and of course the gel eyeliner. And now just a good old spritz of the MAC Fix Plus to blend all of the powders together and make my skin look a little bit more dewy. And that brings me to the end of this tutorial. So I hope you guys loved it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will have an amazing day. Bye!
Hey guys, welcome to my channel.
Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel!